Hi everybody, this review is on Drop. So the plot of this movie is this widow named Violet goes on a blind date, tries to go on a blind date because she's really upset over the death of her husband. So she meets a guy named Henry at this restaurant, and throughout her whole date she keeps getting unsolicited text messages. And at first she thinks like it's just a weird thing that's going on, but then they start getting more and more threatening, and her date really goes bad with Henry as she's then blackmailed into doing whatever the texts tell her to. And because apparently this guy who's been texting her has had a bunch of crooks and goons that invaded her home, and her son is being used as a threat of death if she tells Henry about all the texts. So she really has to keep it private. But if all else fails, she really debates on whether if she has to tell Henry the truth or if she needs to go out in the restaurant and just, do this whole texting thing while no one's looking. This was actually a really good movie. I was genuinely surprised. I mean, when I saw the trailer for this movie, I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. A thriller about a bunch of unsolicited text messages, a lot of tension. Maybe this could be good. And yeah, honestly, for a concept that has didn't really have a lot to do with, it actually was very thrilling and dare I say really intense. It's kind of hard to make a movie about where it's really just showing, a bunch of tension and thrills about like getting text messages about threats and nothing is actually shown. But the thing about it is that the fact they don't actually show any of the threatening acts or anything, super extreme as a result of not responding to the text or whatever, that leaves it really thrilling. It leaves it intense. Like the whole movie, like you're tugging at your shirt, like, oh, I really hope Violet like survives all this and hope her family's okay. And it was really chilling. Like for a movie that obviously this isn't a horror film. This is a thriller film, but you know what, for a thriller film, like it was genuinely pretty scary. Like I actually got a lot of chills during it cuz the fact that the main character is a widowed woman, like the fact that she already had to deal with a loved one a loved one dying, although her ex her widowed her ex-husband was abusive. That's why, it didn't really go so well. That's why she's single. But like that also adds to it because you think, ooh, Violet's really not safe throughout anything. So, and yeah, most of the movie is set at the restaurant. Like most of the time, like you see Violet just sneaking around trying to avoid eye contact with a lot of people. She tries to create diversions to try and not tell anybody what's really going on. And it's really interesting. It's really a good a good way to show how clever Violet can get. Like it's a really good character driven type story where it's not really so much about, how the whole texting thing and all the threats that are applying to Violet apply to everyone. Although that is a big thing about it because, her son is in danger throughout the movie as well, even though they don't touch up on that too much. But that really added a lot of thrills, and I like how it's more of like a show don't tell kind of movie. Like they don't never outright say, oh, I just saw that this just happened. And there's a lot of it's very pretty much like uh a satire about how technology can be really dangerous, how it could be a really bad thing. It's like a movie that's an argument for why it's not so good because you get a bunch of unsolicited text messages. People can like track you, and that really makes it you think like, yeah, technology can be a really terrifying thing. I mean, yeah, it's a cool thing. Like we all have it. We all have phones and computers and stuff, but sometimes it's pretty scary knowing anybody can have access to it. So it has some pretty good technology commentary that I don't even know if it was intended, but it is a good argument for why sometimes new technology isn't always the best thing because it could always result in something dangerous. And obviously, like this movie isn't it's not R rated, so it's not like, there's a lot of blood or anything. Like, you don't really see a lot of deaths. It's more about the tension than the actual action, if that makes any sense. It so it's not really a film where you see the worst of the worst. It's more about fearing for the worst. And I like movies like that kind of tease you. I mean, yeah, you could argue, but it would be really cool to see, the worst outcomes and stuff. But I think movies like this are kind of cool where it just leaves you hanging and it leaves you wanting to know what happens. And it's a really good mystery movie in a way too. It's kind of like that movie that came out a couple years ago, that Missing, where like it's where like a lot of it revolves around technology and it leads to some really intense intense action throughout the whole thing, because what starts as something with technology ends up being something super dangerous. It's kind of like that movie, but obviously this is a very different movie. And it was a unique idea for a movie that really didn't have a lot of set pieces. Like I said, most of the movies just set in a restaurant. So I guess that explains why the film had a pretty small budget and it didn't really have any huge name actors in it. So, and yeah, even speaking of the actors, like, even though I didn't really know anybody, I did really like um I did really like all the acting in the movie. I think all the actors did a really great job. They all show fear well. And even a lot of them showing a lot of confusion of why Violet's acting so crazy and has a lot of tension on her throughout the movie, because she's not supposed to say anything about what's going on with the text messages. But there's some points where she does have her breaking points, but sometimes she really tries to keep it a secret. And for a lot of unknown actors that, I mean, I personally don't know any of them, I think they all did really good. Like, I definitely could see them doing more thriller type movies. I think a movie like this is right up their alley, or maybe they were just lucky and they just had a good script. I don't know, but yeah. So Drop, it's a really interesting film for a movie that you think is would be kind of, a bit lacking, given most of the movies just set in a restaurant and the whole thing's about just messages being airdropped. But you do legit feel fear throughout the for the characters. You actually do feel sorry for the protagonist, and because the fact that she's a mother, she's dealt with death and abuse and stuff, and that she's really not going to doesn't want to go through anything the worst of the worst again. So, and it really leaves you hanging. It's a really good mystery movie, a really good kind of a whodunit, but not really. It's not like they're narrowing suspects or anything. They kind of do touch on that, given it's set in a restaurant and there's a lot of people in there. But yeah, Drop, it's a really fun film. It's like, it's not even a horror film, but yet I thought this was scarier than Sinners, which was an actual horror movie. I guess, to be fair, Sinners was didn't have a lot of action. It was more focused on like just the atmosphere and just some tension. This had a lot of tension throughout. It's like, yeah, it's kind of funny. A non-horror movie somehow it felt more scary than an actual horror movie that came out a while ago. But I know it's not a horror movie. If you're not a horror person, like, you'll like this fine. It's just a thriller. It's more meant for thrills, obviously. But yeah, Drop, I was really surprised by this. This was a lot of fun for a movie that wasn't really action focused and it was more about the thrills and tension. But as someone who really likes stories about thrills and tensions, I really liked it. And even even movies about technology and the fact that some movies can showcase the bad side of it. So it's a really fun film. It really has you on the edge of your seat throughout the whole thing, and it leaves you wondering, and it's got a lot of good mystery throughout the movie. So if you love that kind of stuff, this movie's right up your alley. It's a really good one to check out. If you want to go see a movie this weekend, I'd say give this a watch. It's really fun. It's really fun. It's very intense, and it's very not really exciting. Like, obviously, like I said, this isn't a huge budget movie, so it's not like exciting like scale wise, but there's a lot of tension and thrills throughout the movie that'll leave you hanging. And I had a lot of fun with this film. It was really intense for all the right reasons. It had some really good acting and it took full advantage of a concept you wouldn't think would work for a full-length film. But I had a lot of fun with it, and I if you And if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it if you love mystery films or movies about technology and showing the bad side. I'd say this is a good one to check out. So I had a lot of fun with Drop. It's not an amazing movie by any means, but I had a lot of fun with it, and that's all I wanted. So yeah. All right. The trailers I saw before the movie were Dangerous Animals. This was just like a short trailer. It was like a teaser almost. I don't really have a lot to say about this because this trailer was only like a minute long and it didn't really show much. All I know is that all I remember really was Jai Courtney's in it, and he finds some sharks and he weaponizes them and he uses it again a bunch of sharks against people. I mean, that sounds cool, but the trailer barely showed anything. But Jai Courtney, a shark movie, it might be fun. I don't know. I might have to, see more to be sold on it, but I don't know. It seems pretty interesting from what they showed. So maybe I might keep this one in mind. 28 years later, not the this wasn't the teaser that I've gotten a few times. This was a brand new trailer. I still haven't seen the other 28 layer movies. I've always wanted to, which is weird because the first movie isn't available anywhere. It's not on digital. It's not on any streaming service. It's kind of just lost. So that goes to show digital media isn't always better. DVDs and Blu-rays aren't outdated. They have advantages. So, but I guess maybe I might try to get the DVD of 28 Days Later sometime, but I don't know if it's worth the money purchase and worth keeping on DVD, but hey, I guess sometimes one option, if you have one option, you might as well use the one option. But I've always wanted to see these movies. They did seem interesting, so maybe if I see the other two, hopefully before this one's out, maybe I might check this out if I'll like the other two. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Oh, great. Another sequel where the title is the exact same as the first movie. Like how Scream 5 was just called Scream. Now this one is just called I Know What You Did Last Summer. Not I Know What You Did Last Summer 3. Not. I mean, I guess to be fair, there was a I'll always know what you did last summer, but that was some straight to DVD movie nobody liked, and none of the characters from the first were in it, so what's the point? I did see the first I Know What You Did Last Summer. I think it's a good movie. I never saw the second one yet. I don't know if it's any good, but yeah, I mean, it's a slasher movie. I mean, none of them are like super amazing or anything. They're just meant to be fun. And this is coming out on my birthday. Like legit on the day on my birthday. So maybe I might force my family to come take it with me because no one in my family really is a horror person. But I guess we'll see what happens. I'll keep this one in mind. I'm really curious about because I did like the first. So yeah, maybe I'll check out the second one sometime. So yeah, I'm curious about I Know What You Did Last Summer. Jurassic World Rebirth. Honestly, this one looks pretty good. When I heard they were making a new Jurassic World movie, I was like, really? Another one? I thought Dominion was supposed to be the end of everything, but it doesn't look bad. It actually legit doesn't look bad. I like how this movie's supposed to be more of like a creature feature type film because I mean the first Jurassic Park movie was kind of like a high budget creature feature and the other ones were just kind of just action blockbusters. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I do like how they're trying to make this one more quote unquote scary. Although I wouldn't say Jurassic Park is scary. Like it's not a horror movie, but I mean to be fair, I know the original book was kind of like that, but I'm curious about this one. I do like that they're going for the more creature feature, darker aspect. Like I guess it might be a bit more darker than the other Jurassic Park movies. Maybe that's what they're intending. Like it's not actually scary. Like it's not full on explicitly scary. It's just darker. So that's that would be an interesting take to see a more creature feature scary type Jurassic Park movie with dinosaurs. So I'm curious about it. Maybe it might not be good, but it seems interesting if they're willing to do something new with it. So yeah. And I got Megan 2.0 or M3gan 2.0. Okay. I haven't seen the first Megan, so forgive me for being uncultured and not knowing, but why is there a 3 in her name? Like, Megan wasn't the third installment of a movie. I know that because obviously this one's called 2.0. But why is there a 3 in her name? Can anybody who's seen Megan like tell me why there's a 3 in her name? Because I don't know why it's called M3gan Megan. I know it's because 3 looks like an E backwards, but okay. Fantastic at least made sense because that's called the Fantastic Four. So putting a 4 in the top makes it. But what's the 3? What's the significance of the 3? I don't know. But I haven't seen the first Megan, like I said, but I've heard actually quite good things about it. Like when I saw the trailer for the first one, I was like, it just looks like another Child's Play wannabe, like whatever. But I've heard it's actually good, like really good. Like I've heard really good things about some. I was like, wow, really? It's actually good. But I haven't seen it yet. But maybe before this is out, I might see it just to see if it's good. And if I do like it, maybe I might check this one out. I don't know. But it did look kind of corny in a way, but I get it's a movie about a robotic psychotic doll. Of course it's going to be a little silly, but I guess if I end up liking the first one, maybe this one won't be a bad experience to sit through, so we'll see. But yeah, Drop, it was actually a lot of fun. It's really good if you love mystery or thrillers, or if you even just like movies with tension that aren't horror movies. I think this is definitely a good one to check out. It's not too long. It's well paced and it leaves you hanging every second. It's never boring. Like I was thoroughly interested throughout the whole thing, and it's a really good mystery movie as well as a thriller movie, so it works in all accounts. But so yeah, Drop's really good. I don't think it'll make my top 10 of the year, but I guess we'll see what happens when the year ends. So, but yeah, Drop, I had a really fun time with. If you've seen it, let me know what you think. Did you like it? Did you not like it? I'm curious to know. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with Drop. I thought it was a good time. And as someone who loves thrillers and even movies about technology that aren't really pandering and more so using it to create an interesting, inventive story, this is definitely one of the cases where it works to its advantage. So, yeah, Drop, I liked it. So, that's my review for Drop. So, take care, everybody.